Hi everybody, so welcome to another video here on my channel, Dear Reader. So today I'm going to talk about a book that I recently finished, which is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. It's the third Sally Rooney book that I've read, and I think based on my experience with Miss Sally Rooney, I would have to say that it goes second. So first would still be Normal People, so nothing is gonna beat that. And then Conversations with Friends and Beautiful World, Where Are You? So I think, just to have a quick review of Miss Sally Rooney, her skill in writing is very apparent in her way of writing the mundane, everyday things in life. So that is her skill. She can make cooking very interesting. Even the environment, the setting, like she doesn't say a lot of things, but it feels so authentic, and you know that you're in that situation, or you feel that you're in that situation because of the rich way that she describes it, and not because of the amount of words, but the quality or the form of the sentences or her metaphors. Yeah. So I really, really like her writing. However, Conversations with Friends gets 3 stars from me because, okay, Normal People was 5 stars. Beautiful World, Where Are You was a 2 star read. And yeah, Conversations with Friends is a 3 star. Initially, I rated it 4 stars because, yeah, I felt like it's higher than a 3. But at the same time, I don't think, like when I rated it a 4, I couldn't, I kept thinking about it. Like it feels wrong. So I changed it to 3 stars. And yeah, that actually it's more of 3.5. But since I follow the Goodreads ratings, it's just 3 stars. I don't round up my ratings. Yeah, and like I said, it's second. It comes second to Normal People. And that is because I think with Sally Rooney books, the main catch for me, aside from the writing, is the characters. So when I first read the back cover blurb for Normal People, or when I read the synopsis, at first I was like thinking, okay, so it's about these two high schoolers, Marian and Connell. It seems like they have this wrong time, like right person, wrong time kind of situation all the time. And yeah, like from reading the back cover, it feels like it's gonna be boring. But actually, there is almost zero plot in Normal People, but it's the characters, their life, their personality, their experiences that capture, and that is what I really appreciate. So Normal People was written very well, like I said. There's that one quote that still haunts me to this very day. I'm gonna flash it on the screen. But for Conversations with Friends, I did not feel that connection. It's more of, okay, so it's a coming of age story, similar to Normal People. So we have two people coming of age in that story, in that novel. But for Conversations with Friends, I had a very different feeling. Because for Normal People, yeah, it feels like, so when you're reading her books, Sally Rooney's books, you feel this kind of heaviness. It's sort of depressing, basically. But at the same time, the redemption arc of how the characters were able to get together and develop in Normal People, it was amazing. But for Conversations with Friends, I can't say that it went to that level. And well, Conversations with Friends is Sally Rooney's first novel, so it's pretty understandable. Maybe these characters, or maybe the characters aren't just interesting for me. Because the characters are, like I said, so we have two college girls, they're best friends, and they meet this married couple, a photographer and an actor. And their lives get enmeshed with each other. But we are reading the book from the perspective of Frances. So she's our main character. Yeah, I think that's another thing too. I'm following 4 characters in this book, when in Normal People I was following 2 characters. Beautiful World, Where Are You? Also, we follow 4 characters. So I feel that Sally Rooney writes best when she only has 2 characters, like 2 main characters. So we have that, and then at the same time, there is this premise of a girl getting into an affair with this guy, older guy, he is 10 years older than her. And this is not a spoiler because it's in the synopsis. Yeah, so I feel like that didn't do it for me. Mainly because the affair, so it happened. Like, I'm not bothered by like cheating tropes in books, but the way that it was done in conversation with friends was so annoying to me. Okay, right. So where was I? It's a day after. So anyway, what I was talking about was, yeah. So there is this cheating trope in conversations with friends, but the reason why it didn't work for me is because I expected, like, for a cheating scenario, is when the wife finds out, she would either demand him to stay with her or to leave her. But in conversations with friends, what makes it more complicated is the wife is actually okay with it. Or maybe she's not like okay, okay. Of course, she prefers if she was the only one. But she like wrote this angry email to the girl, to our main character, saying like, okay, so I know what's going on. He told me about you guys, and go ahead, do whatever you want, but that doesn't mean that he's gonna leave our marriage or that he's gonna divorce me in order to marry you. And he is a very submissive type of person. So if you think that like flirting with him and sleeping with him will get him to go to you and not to me and to leave me, that's not gonna happen. And by the way, do you wanna have dinner? Seriously, like she even invites main character and the best friend to dinner. So it 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 stays the same. The relationships of these four people, it doesn't, well, it changes obviously, but it's just really weird because everyone just continues to go on while these weird relationship dynamics are happening. So basically it's like polyamory. This is a book on polyamory, and that is why I can't fault it, because I think that is the point of the book. Maybe it's possible for someone to love another person and another person. So yeah, that's why it kind of didn't work for me that much. And another reason why reading Conversations with Friends felt like a little bit of a downer for me is because she has this sickness. The main character has a sickness, and she almost like tolerates the pain in a way that she would just like she will prepare herself because she knows it's gonna come. It's like a hormonal thing. It happens every time she has her periods, or like moments during those periods, or every couple of months, something like that. And she knows it's gonna happen. She anticipates it's gonna happen, but then she goes outside and walks around like sweating and feeling the pain, and then enters a particular church that she doesn't go to, and then she sits and observes while in her head she's having already these delirious thoughts, which Sally Rooney was so good at capturing. She was able to write the thoughts of a person while having a fever dream. Like when I was reading it, I felt like I was the one having this illness, and I'm thinking these thoughts. Like the flow of the sentences, it was perfect. It flowed really well, but it doesn't make sense. And I know what I just said seems so hard to like think about. Like, yeah, I'm sure you've had a fever dream. That is exactly how it was portrayed. And then she faints. Okay, our main character faints. Like, she faints all the time when this happens. And like throughout the whole book, there should also be like a trigger warning for self-harm. And there was this one self-harm scene. It's not even a scene, actually. It was just like a single sentence that if you were reading the book and you weren't paying attention, you would gloss over it. But I was reading closely, as I always do, because, you know, I do that. And then I read that scene with the nail cutter, and it has something to do with her inner thigh. Oh, okay, yeah. But it wasn't like described like super in detail. It just said that, oh, she tried it, and then blood gushed out, and she was like afraid because it's not stopping. Things like that. So, strange. So that was sort of like cringy for me. I almost feel like it's worse than that one scene from 13 Reasons Why, the bathtub scene. Okay, so aside from Frances's side, we also see her relationship with her best friend, who is absolutely such a bad Well, she's not a bad influence. Okay, so her best friend Bobby, she is rich, beautiful, and all that. And what makes me a little bit down, again, while reading this book, is because the main character, Frances, is very, 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 not insecure, but she always says things like, Bobby, if I was as pretty as Bobby, I would be this. If I was smart as Bobby, I would be that. So it's always her comparing herself to Bobby, putting Bobby in a pedestal, and all that. So that is why I like Bobby. It's not Bobby's fault. Bobby has a very strong personality, but at the same time, it's not her fault that Frances is acting this way. It's not because Bobby's telling her to like admire me, Frances. Not like that. It's just really Frances. Yeah, she idolizes Bobby so much that aside from loving her as a best friend and they used to be girlfriends. They used to be together, but they broke up. Bobby broke up with her. So I'm like thinking maybe that's why she's sort of like that. I don't know. So, and then we have the wife, Melissa, which I don't really get so much of her because, like I said, this whole book is written in a perspective of Frances. So we only know the relationship. Frances is very, let's say she's very, not scared, but she's always walking on eggshells when she's around because she knows what she's doing behind Melissa's back with Melissa's husband. Yes, and actually I'm not that very intrigued with Melissa's character as well. So there will be a show of Conversations with Friends coming out in May 15th, I believe, and it's going to be on Hulu. And I have not watched Normal People, but based on what other people said, the book is very much like the series, or the series is very much like the book. So yeah, I saw that Joe Alwyn, boyfriend of Taylor Swift, is playing Nick, and that is why maybe Nick didn't work for me in my brain because I was already picturing Joe Alwyn as a guy, and I just can't imagine Joe having that kind of personality because in the book there are some issues with Nick as well. And yeah, this book is actually more on the like self-esteem issue, which I think Normal People also has that like self-esteem issue. Sally Rooney books are always about that, being worthy of love. There's always that kind of theme. But for Conversations with Friends, it was falling towards the annoying side of it, in my opinion. But Normal People, it was done really well. Yeah, so will I read will I read Sally Rooney's future books if she comes out with more in the future? I think it depends on the premise and the kind of characters that will be in that book. So she usually writes about coming of age books. That's what she usually writes. She always paints a picture of a human living life, knowing what to do and just doing it, and with the struggles that come with that, and enduring the struggles and just persevering. So that is her whole theme. So most likely, yeah, I think I will pick it up, though I will be very wary if it has something to do with like multiple people, because like I said, I like it when there are only two protagonists and not multiple. Right, so I guess that's it for my review of Conversations with Friends and the whole review sort of Sally Rooney's books and writing. Yeah, so now I only have 2 books left. I'm actually in the middle of The Song of Achilles. I'm loving it, and I actually filmed an annotation video for this already because I can't wait. I mean, I was feeling like annotating it already. I can't wait to finish the book and then annotate. And sometimes what happens is when I annotate a book when I've already finished it, like the thoughts that I had in the first half of the book changes when I already know what's coming at the end. So that is why I decided to just start. Okay, so this is my completed Conversations with Friends book. I tabbed the heck out of it because literary fiction is my favorite thing to tab. I like to analyze and I like to note the sentences that I really liked. And there are tons of pages with multiple colors like this because of the dialogue that I want to, like when I flip through it, I want to see it in the future. Like this jumped out at me back then. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll update you in the next video.